start recording instead. Because that way we'll get nice, full high def shit all the way through. And I'll record this and I'll record that. And we're ready to go.
Are we live?
When you're ready.
Are we live?
No, we're not live. We're recording.
Well, live. As in the recording. Live. The recording is live.
Then everything is live, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. It's
that
whatever
movie I watched was live too.
Whatever I want it live to be, that's what it is.
That's right. You know that movie, The Last Jedi? That was
live.
That was filmed live.
Totally live.
Is that red light? Is that saying it's peaking?
No, I think that just means it's recording.
Okay. It just means it's recording when it's recording, right?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, cool. Because it's not peaking on this
as far as I know,
levels. So.
No.
All right, let's just assume everything's working, or we'll get at least one that works a little bit. I don't know. Have you got music? I haven't got the music.
You haven't got the music. No. I thought you would have that.
No, I haven't got it queued up. Just give me a second. I'll do that.
God, this is brilliant so far.
It's just fucking genius, isn't it?
It's fucking.
But this music
brilliant
will make all the difference. Once we have this music playing in about 7 minutes, it's going to be like it's just going to bowl everybody over.
Yeah,
you know, like that AIDS commercial.
Be blown away.
Streams, videos. Where's the music?
Like a
output. Here we go. This will be where it is. All right, are you ready to? No, that's not it.
Well, you play the music first.
It's not it. Design, audio, intro music. Here we go. Output. I reckon I can play it now.
All right. Are you going to play it?
Yes.
Right.
I think I will.
Wait. That's the music.
That's it. Kind of gone off it, to be honest.
It's a bit filtery. A bit too much filtery stuff.
It's all filters.
Filter it out, Harv.
I'm going to fade it right out so that we don't have to worry about it.
All right. Hey, 1240 Hangover Cure podcast. Hello, world.
I'm Javier.
That's Javier.
Isn't it funny, like, you just get bored of saying the same things over and over again, so you just say dumb stuff instead?
Just make it dumb instead.
That's why we can't do a podcast, because I'll always get bored saying the correct thing and then just ruin it.
Yeah, well, who cares?
I mean, I just said my name was Javier. It's stupid.
It's our podcast. We'll change it if we want.
You know, the guy in Mother, is his name pronounced Javier? J. You know the Javier Bardem, Javier Bardem. I don't know how to say his name.
Something like that. It's something like that.
Is it pronounced Javier? Because it's a J.
Javier.
Javier.
No, I don't know.
It could be.
Maybe it's.
We might share a name.
Maybe it's Javier.
Javier.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. It's the.
I'm going to try and find out.
It's the silent J.
The silent J gets you every time.
The silent J that sounds like a Y.
Is that like Silent Bob, but when they switch roles and J stops talking in Jay and Silent Bob?
I never thought about Silent J. That'd be an interesting concept.
There's a joke in there somewhere, and we haven't made one.
No, there's no joke.
We never got to it.
We have not made a good joke out of it.
Someone is listening to this going, "Oh, you dickheads, that was the perfect opportunity for this joke. And he knows what it is, and we don't because we're idiots.
Oh, well.
Fuck it.
We'll just have to do without the joke. So this is episode
34.
34?
Yeah, I reckon it's 34.
The re-up.
The re-up.
As we did try to put together episode 34 previously, but
it was unsalvageable.
It was shit. And
it was very, very poor.
It was our first attempt at not being in the same room, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. So
yeah, that was our. Well, we've done it in the past, but for some reason, when we had less equipment and less capability and less knowledge, it worked really well. And now it doesn't.
With something else, we tried that.
Yeah, we did. Remember, we recorded a video where we discussed.
That's right.
a movie.
The
What
Big
was it?
Short. We
The
tried
Big
to do it
Short.
with that. Yeah.
We did it like a movie review of The Big Short or a movie discussion of some kind. Yeah, that's probably around somewhere. We might release that one day
put that up.
if there's enough demand for it.
It's better than this.
The demand so far is 0. If it ever increases to 1. Right, there's a section we've got to do, Rodders. A bit of housekeeping. Right?
Housekeeping, wheelhouse.
Yeah, no, it's not Wheelhouse.
Oh.
We need to do our speak pipe messages. All right.
Speak pipe. Oh, we got one.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the message,
All right.
and then so any messages that we get, we promised we would play them on air.
Is it JP?
So here's that section.
It's JP, isn't it?
No, there's no messages. I just wanted to do the section just
Oh,
so that people know that's where we would have played your message had you fucking left one.
I honestly thought there was a message coming. There is
feel
no
bad
messages.
because you got so excited
I got
by the
amped.
idea that we have a message.
I got amped.
I'll refresh it. Someone might have just left one, but I refreshed it 10 seconds. No, it's
Still nothing?
still nothing there. So, it's disappointing, isn't it?
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
No one wants to even scream abuse at us. We're
I know.
Not even that important.
I posted on a podcast community on Facebook before we started this saying if you really want to say something offensive on the air, we will play any message that gets left on this speak pipe. No one took me up on it.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it, people.
Yeah,
So
it's not that hard. Come on.
just get in there, leave any audio. You don't even have to speak. Just, I don't know.
Fart.
Just fart into phone.
Just cough from the other room. I don't care what it is. We'll play it.
That would actually be, I'd laugh at that.
I'd find that really funny, actually, coughing from the other room.
It'll just sound like someone
What it sounds like,
recorded
right? It sounds like
something.
this. Shit. If that was it, I would love it.
And then some noise like this.
Fucking hell. I've got tuberculosis.
I'm really not well.
Lung cancer's really kicking in.
Back to the bathroom for me.
Another day on the toilet.
Which these days not so bad because you can take things in there. You can take mobile technology in there and actually, do stuff.
I actually invented
While
something. It's funny you should mention that because I invented something in my mind.
You did?
Yeah, and I know
What
that's
is
a
it?
lot easier than inventing something in real life and
So
actually getting a factory.
This
to
isn't
produce it.
actually manifest in
not
our
something-
third dimension reality. It is still in your mind.
You cannot buy this
Right.
in stores. But I just thought, wouldn't it be interesting if you had like a toilet tray where you could sit all your devices and shit. So when you're on the toilet, you just you roll it in, kind of like a hospital bed tray, like those.
Something
types.
that holds an iPad for sure.
Yeah, something that holds an iPad. You can prop your phone up on it. You can go hands-free. It's like a docking station, but it's designed for when you
Can actually see that working.
Yeah, I would fucking love it.
You could install that at airports. You
Absolutely.
could do it everywhere.
It'd be cool if it was just a swivel around tray, so you sit down and then it just swivels into place.
And it's
above
in
your
front
lap.
of you.
Yeah,
It just comes out in front of you.
Yeah, although I think if that existed, I would live on the toilet because I wouldn't need to go anywhere else.
I think it would make people stay a bit longer.
Yeah,
probably.
I would just be there just in case I need to shit, and then I can just not even stop working while I'm if I get the tingle in my butt, I just let it drop. I wouldn't have to be a guard. I'm always on guard for shitting. It's always and every time I fart, I'm like, is it gonna be?
Is it gonna be a shit?
Is there gonna be a little bit of a shart? Is it gonna be moist? Am I gonna leave some kind
bit
of
of
stain?
anal leakage? Perhaps?
Anal leakage. It's all possible now. I'm 40 plus. It's it's all
bad,
downhill.
isn't it?
Oh, it's just terrible. It's like your body knows.
It's interesting that you bring up the age thing and everything. Though,
yeah, you're finding some.
Well, I recently injured myself on coming off a push bike, and initially was pretty painful. So, I pretty much restricted to just using one arm. I couldn't use left arm at all.
Stranger.
So even no, because usually I don't have a stranger anymore because I switched it up ages ago.
Right. That's right. You're an ambidextrous wanker.
I can use two hands. Go two-handed.
You just look like you're praying when you do that, but with your dick in your hands.
Yeah. With it, it looks like you're trying to strangle a turtle.
Yeah, that's right. A boa constrictor or something.
But
Big
yeah,
steak.
I'm healing up okay, but I'm starting to think of, seriously changing my diet and
Yeah.
trying to avoid meat pretty much,
I've been doing it.
and just clean it up
You
and
have a look
stop drinking. I'm going to stop.
Go have a look
drinking.
in the fridge right now. You'll see a burger patty, but it's vegetarian. Did you even know there was such a thing?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, right.
There's a whole fast food thing based on it.
Is there? Not in Fitzroy. There's not. I couldn't find any vegetarian food here.
No, none. Right?
It's really hard to find.
No,
but I'm the same. It's just stupid. Like the stuff we do is stupid. Why are we shortening our lifespan? And especially when we're at the halfway point, why would you keep doing it?
I kind of think, with the amount of mistakes I've made to now, and if I've still got relative health, imagine if I actually tried to be healthy.
Yeah.
I might actually be a lot happier that way.
If you were healthy, you would probably be, yes, happier. That makes sense, doesn't it? Do you ever wonder, though?
Seems obvious.
Do you ever wonder, and this is a thing, that this is a real sort of weird concern I have in the back of my head when I think about going vegetarian or whatever. Do you ever wonder if you'll be mollycoddling your body, which will condition it to being a pussy?
Well, that's why I think it's probably beneficial to not be a strict vegan or anything like that, because then, you kind of...
Would you forget how to process meat if you didn't have it?
Well, your body might. Your body might, yeah.
I just worry about that. Like, not that specific thing, but just the idea that your body won't be exposed to enough toxins, so it won't be tuned up to dispose
that's
of them
right.
at the same time.
I think it's probably a good thing to expose it to toxins every so often, because then your body doesn't forget.
So we can still drink, but just on the weekends.
Well, yeah, I just need a break from drinking next year. I'm planning to do the sober year again.
It's exhausting, isn't it?
I'm just not getting a lot out of it. It's just not that much fun.
Yeah.
But I tend to have fun with other people.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking socially, but
it's that window. I think we've talked about this before. The window of where it's enjoyable just narrows every time you drink.
Yeah.
And it becomes, yay, I'm having a go. It's over now.
Yeah.
And then it's all downhill, and you get to that point where you're like, I'm going to drink everything in the fucking house. I don't care, because I had 6 seconds where I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And it becomes
You're just trying to chase the dream the whole time.
Yeah, you're chasing the dream. It's like your first hit of heroin, right? Yeah. That's what addiction is.
It's like any drug. We've talked about this before, where the first the first time you consume it or whatever, it's the best.
Yeah.
But it'll never be that good again.
Yeah.
It literally will never be that good again.
That's right.
So it's probably fine to do things once or twice, but you can expect it to just be not as good every time after that.
Yeah.
So it's
as
probably
depressing as that is, that's kind of a pattern of life, though, isn't it?
It's almost the same with anything. Like
pretty much,
you do something you really like too much.
Well, anything that's pleasure. I mean, that was the difference. We did that whole episode on pleasure versus. What was it? Pleasure versus.
See, we're already doing a bit of a
happiness.
year in review. We didn't
We're
even
reviewing our previous.
Yeah, I figured this is kind of what we would just sort of fall into a little bit, but
it was an interesting topic, though.
But yeah, that was a good one. I enjoyed talking about that.
That continues to come up in my life.
The pleasure-seeking thing.
Once you sort of start thinking in those terms, is this for pleasure or is this for longer-term happiness?
Yeah.
You make different choices. It's a really interesting thing.
You definitely do.
It shows what the power of an idea is. It's like I've said on the podcast before when you told me about this concept of self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And how whenever you don't do something, if you can identify what your self-limiting belief is and work on it, then next time that choice comes up, you might actually do it and it might be good for you.
That's right. Yeah. I was listening to a Rich Roll podcast with Tim Ferriss last night, which is, they're both pretty popular podcasts.
Right.
And Tim Ferriss is talking about, I think he writes in a journal every day, or has done in the past or something. And before he started writing anything else, he would write, what was the now I'm forgetting. It's to do with story. Don't.
This is dead air, Barry.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Jesus, I had this right on the tip of my...
So he's got a phrase that he
penis.
writes.
Yeah.
Well, why'd you leave it on the tip of your penis? You're not going to be able to get it out now, are you? The window's open.
It's like, don't be the story or whatever. Like, we tell stories to other people about ourselves. Like, oh, I can never eat spicy pizza.
Yeah.
Because,
Aren't I interesting?
Yeah. Like,
that's how I'm different from you.
like that's a very sort of arbitrary story. But yeah, we say things more seriously. It's like, oh, I can't swim, or I don't like the water or something. These sort of, like you were saying, it's like
I must have been born in a desert. I'm so interesting. That's my story. What's yours? No, that's what people. It's like
they tell stories. Yeah,
you can listen to people's conversation on a tram that are not that you're not involved in, and that's how I hear them when I hear those conversations. People just big noting themselves. People just posturing. People just saying things that I don't know if they believe them or not, or if I don't even know if belief is possible when you listen to these people talking, because they're just talking about things that reflect on themselves in the way that they see themselves or want others to see them.
Or want other people to see them. Yeah.
They probably don't see themselves that way, in fact. It's probably that dichotomy that causes social interaction. We're looking for a validation of can I fool you into thinking that I'm a good person when all I want to do is, fuck turtles or something, whatever it is.
Eat Cheezels and masturbate.
That's not my fetish, the turtle thing. I heard about a guy.
Neither is the Cheezels thing for me. I don't eat.
Putting your dick in Cheezel rings.
I don't fuck Cheezel rigs. No.
But no one else mentioned that. You just brought that up then.
No, but it reminded me of something my friend did on holiday.
It's always the friend, isn't it? Yeah.
This guy I know.
Yeah, well, I would never.
He did that.
Do that either.
He literally fucked Cheezels.
Yeah.
There's an orange stain on the mattress the next day.
It doesn't make
so
sense.
I immediately accused him of fucking a bag of Cheezels, which he did not deny. So.
Did he lube them up first? I mean, that would be.
No, he just lets them go stale.
Oh yeah, I guess they do get kind of smooth, don't they?
And then I
nice,
really don't want to think about how small his
I can't
dick
help
is.
it now.
He must have a small dick.
Yeah.
Because there's small holes
Yeah.
in the Cheezels.
I mean, I could get it in there, but it would break if I moved it around.
I'd be busting them wide open.
You wouldn't even fit yours in the box.
Not even the tip. That's a funny image.
I could break it in half and I could snap it back together behind the head, but the head wouldn't fit through.
No.
Yeah.
The head's pretty large.
And it's impossible to hear me say that without visualizing me do it. I'm hoping anyway. That's what I'm hoping for.
We get on to masturbating.
We always get on to masturbating in some form or another. Anyway, I'm glad we moved on from the turtle thing. But yeah, I mean, that's the year-end review.
What else did we talk about in 2017? There was a few things. There was the red underpants. There was. Let's do a follow-up on that because
we actually had another one.
There was another one.
Yeah,
guy drove apparently arrested on the steps of Flinders Street station.
Now I don't follow the news.
After he plowed through people.
So can you tell me what they were reporting?
I was first exposed to it on Facebook by a friend I have on Facebook saying, just basically taking a picture of the police tape and saying, if I was 2 minutes earlier to this spot, this would have been me. And everyone was like, oh, phew, thank God you're okay. Jeez.
I was due to have drinks with workmates in Swanson Street and I forgot to go. I forgot it was happening.
But yeah, I didn't look at a lot of the official news, but it just looked like, again, just a car drove into a crowd of unsuspecting pedestrians.
Well, I think it's because we've still got the, terror-teague, terrorism fatigue. Terror-teague, as I like to call it. I've coined a phrase there.
But was it even terrorism? Or
I don't know what that was. That's what I mean, though. But when these things happen, I just go, oh, it's just another one. It's just weird. No, it's not because I believe that they're common. It's not. It's just the media circus around it just really just annoys the hell out of me.
Well, I mean, the last time that happened, it was pretty much seen as a failure that the cops didn't arrest the guy sooner.
Yeah.
And it was made quite obvious that, we've got him. Here he is. Look.
Yeah.
Inconspicuously, we arrested him on the most iconic steps in Melbourne.
That's not a good photo op. Ching.
Yeah.
Smile, guys.
Don't get too many angles of this scene.
Get us to say cheese.
We're police and we stop terrorism. We save everyone.
You need us and you can trust us.
And once again, around Christmas time.
Yeah.
That's why the cops are obsessed with
around
saving.
Christmas time last time?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay, I didn't remember that.
I think it was... No. There was something else around Christmas time last year. It was the cops save Christmas. Remember that?
Yeah,
we
talked about that on
last Christmas.
Last Christmas episode. Year in review.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
The cops... It was front page headline.
Yeah.
Cops save Christmas, And... It was a very vague story about a raid they'd done in some, in some suburb in Melbourne, where they'd apparently hatched a terrorist plot.
Yeah.
Thwarted terrorists who were apparently making bombs, and we didn't even see these people. We just saw sketches of them in the paper of how the Herald Sun reported.
It was just a story, right?
Yeah, it was literally just a story, and there was no video or anything of it.
So you think, let's just get this out in the open. You think there's some kind of internal campaign to make the police look better and more trustworthy? Because we do have a problem in Australia, certainly in Melbourne, where we're not huge fans of the police. We've had quite a few,
incidents
in the past. We've had some corruption, police brutality.
Well, there's been whole TV series based on that.
Exactly. So, you see this as potentially a PR campaign to correct the perception that the police are corrupt.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Trying to show themselves in a better light. Like, you wouldn't have Christmas if it wasn't for us.
Or not
police.
A safe one anyway.
Yeah, you'd be all praying for police if we weren't around on Christmas.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked to think that could happen, or that we even need to consider that could happen, because, it's pretty underhanded stuff. It's just...
It comes back to, overall things have gone a bit nuts.
Yeah,
and
everything's crazy at the
you
moment.
can't really afford... And people are more closed off to what's happening around them than I can remember. Like, everyone has headphones in. I remember when I used to get around with, the old headphones that went over your ears.
Yeah.
And... people used to, if I was taking the bus somewhere or whatever, sometimes people would ask me, would come up and tap me on the shoulder and go, "Can you turn that down? I can hear all the music going into your ears out of your headphones."
Yeah, well, it depends
because
if they're closed-backed or not.
The majority of people weren't wearing headphones.
Yeah,
wasn't as prevalent back then. Was sort of seen as antisocial, I guess.
Imagine that.
And now it's everyone. Now fast forward to now, everyone's got headphones in, and everyone's got, bud headphones in generally. So, pretty decent quality over-ear headphones.
There's a trend of big over-ear ones now.
Yeah. And they're usually noise cancellation type headphones. I mean, that's blocking everything out.
Yeah.
So that's one whole way of being aware, closed off.
Yeah.
When your hearing's blocked and there's just stuff being pumped into your ears.
So I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. Mariella and I were walking along, and this thought popped into my head. And I don't know if this is a result of conditioning or whether it's a genuine thought or where it came from or whatever, but I just started thinking about, I think it was because she was talking about computer games, and she's got the PlayStation 4 now, and she's fairly obsessed with it and all of that. And it just occurred to me that, this idea of merging with computers or whatever, like if you could...
Transhumanism.
Yeah, well, no, not so much, because transhumanism is more about merging with robotics. I'm talking about full-on sort of matrix concept where you can upload your consciousness into a computer, which is how the elites apparently want to live forever, right?
Like you want to put a headset on and just escape into a virtual?
Like it's a permanent thing. You would just leave your body.
Oh, right.
So you can
so you just
upload your brain into some kind of hive computer.
And you just be a flesh tube sitting on Earth.
And you would discard the body, And I thought of this concept, and I thought of it suddenly in a positive light. And I realized everything that I do in my life that I hate doing, like fucking getting up out of bed, having a shower, brushing my teeth.
It's all eliminated.
All of that stuff could be completely funneled into productive thinking time. And I wouldn't need to, like, if you had a guarantee that you would lose no quality of consciousness, and that's, again, I've coined a phrase there, but like, if you could know, and you never can, so this will never happen, but if you could know 100% that you would be and feel exactly the same inside the virtual world, inside the computer, in your pure consciousness and some kind of virtual reality
There'd be people that would
world.
do it.
Yeah, but the question is, would you? Because I think I would just do it. I mean, all the body stuff is just pointless to me. I don't do anything with my body. I'm not sporty. Like, this is just a complete, it's like dragging around a giant acorn.
Well, everything originates in your brain, right? So that's
me
all you really need to be active if you're living in a virtual world. Because
exactly. I feel like I live inside my brain. So if I feel like I live inside my brain and my heart to an extent, I guess, and that's the bit I'd be worried about. But if I could be guaranteed that I wouldn't lose that sense of presence that I have now, and I could be pure thought, I think it's actually quite an appealing idea. For me anyway. I mean, I know for you, like, you sort of have a more, you do more in the physical world than I do, if you could call it that.
Yeah,
you have an art form that involves actually moving your hand. I have an art form that involves moving my hand, but only to control the mouse, which I could do with pure consciousness. You know what I mean? So for me, as a sort of slothful, almost basically discarded my body already. Like, I don't give it a lot of attention.
You kind of look like you don't care about it.
Yeah, I look like I don't care. That's because I don't. I mean, I only give it enough to fuel my brain. That's all. Like, if someone says to me, well, you'll lose weight, as you may have noticed, I'm not that motivated by that. But if someone says you'll be able to think more clearly, I'll do that. Yeah, no problem. I'll eat that fucking herb or whatever. I'll stuff that kale down my throat because I want to be able to think more clearly. But that's what's priority to me, not what's going on, in the physical.
Yeah, I tend to think if you're going to just upload your brain into some virtual environment, you would still be able to do all that physical stuff anyway. Couldn't it just emulate all that stuff?
Yeah, I think it would.
Like, if you wanted to go, I wanted to referee a game of basketball in a virtual world,
but it
would still feel like I'm running around.
But you wouldn't emulate the stuff, that's bad about life. Like,
I actually
consume and shit and fucking shower.
You could just cut
just
all that out.
remove it all.
You just cut all that out.
By the way, I do shower. I don't want people to get the idea I don't shower. I just feel like every time I do it, it's a bit of a waste of time.
Well, yeah, there'd be a lot of save time there if you didn't have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it that way. And yeah, look, who knows? A few decades from now, there could be people doing that.
Maybe.
Could be like the
I know they're working on it.
The Futurama type.
Do you believe the conspiracy theory that that's where, like, the upper class, the elites, that's where they want to end up? They want to end up.
They just want to be one of those brains in a jar.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I want even the brain. It's not like, the man with two brains or anything.
That's what I imagined.
Dr. Hoofer. What was the female brain's name? Anne Almalhay? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You remember better than I do.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
I did watch that quite a few times.
For those that are not following what we're talking about, which is probably most of the time, it's a movie called The Man with Two Brains. Steve Martin in his heyday when he was
still hilarious.
When he was still funny, basically. Yeah, and he wasn't a showbiz asshole with a banjo.
I remember, I think I recorded that one off TV.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well done.
I recorded that one off TV and watched it.
I would not have recorded that one. No, I would have, because it has tits in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had that bit where the prostitute comes home with him.
That's right.
I probably would have stopped recording about the moment that she speaks.
Had everything.
It had a little bit of everything.
Little slice.
Great movie. Go see it. Now this is a movie review show. No, it's our year-end review, though.
It is. It is.
There is one thing in review, and I think I'm only going back one episode, but that's as far as I can remember anyway. But there's a thing.
The last one we did here.
Yeah. The thing that that came up a week or two ago in my YouTube comments, or it was actually in the comments on Minds, I think, of a post that I did about the 9/11 review, that 9/11 movie that I reviewed.
Yep.
As the elite character. Someone put a comment and said some crazy stuff about 9/11 and whatever. And I made mention of the idea that because he said that the only thing that he can't understand with 9/11 is if it was some kind of inside job, is how they wired the building with explosives and no one noticed. And I said, well, I've got an answer for you. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
And I repeated what we talked about in that episode where we came up with that idea that the buildings might be built with explosives built into them so that
when
they
they
can
built
be
the
brought
building,
down.
they
Because when you build a building that it's not going to be up forever and that things can go wrong. If it catches on fire, maybe you want to have the option to bring that thing down. But you don't want to tell people, because if you tell them that the building is wired to explode, they're not going to get past the revolving
creates
door.
a little bit of panic, doesn't it?
Yes, it may create
Walking into a 40, 50
problem.
story building, or however many stories it was, knowing that it could explode.
90 something.
Explode at any minute.
Yeah, it was 90 something, I think.
If I push this button, the whole thing comes down.
But don't worry, I'm not going to push
it.
I'm not going to do it.
It's only
Just telling you.
It's only blades flying.
So I made mention of that.
That's not that implausible, really. I mean, the more I thought about that, the more I just thought, well,
it's so obvious when you think of it.
Shouldn't that be fairly easily uncovered, though? I mean, isn't there other buildings that would be wired to explode as well?
And probably everyone thought the same thing we did. Let's go look at a building, and then did we do it?
No.
I think we even made a promise that we would, and we still haven't done it.
What, you mean in the buildings in Melbourne?
Yeah, well, anywhere. I mean, I would assume if they're going to do it for the World Trade Center, they're going to do it for other buildings too. Certainly, you could look at other buildings by the same contractors or something, or funded by the same people. Or something.
We need to ask if the Sky Deck, that's a tall building.
Yeah, do you think they'll just tell us?
No. I don't think so. But we need to talk
Excuse me, is this Sky Deck wired to explode? Funny you should mention that.
Yeah, we usually don't tell this to people.
I've been told to keep it a secret unless anyone asks.
And then I just tell them the 100% truth.
Yeah, and then now I can admit it. Thank you. This is awesome.
No, we would need to find some person involved with the actual construction of the building.
It's hard. It's hard to prove.
Get them to anonymously admit it or something.
Plus, you're talking about potentially technologically advanced methodologies of bringing a building down. So you're talking about like what was it called? See, I used to know all of the 9/11 conspiracies. Thermite. So let's say thermite is a thing, and people have done YouTube videos where they test thermite and it can eat through steel.
I just thought it was cold termites.
You know what was funny?
Thermite.
There was a flash of lightning and some thunder. I was actually just going to mention the flash of lightning. There goes the thunder. Just after you said that joke, it was like God didn't think it was funny.
No, Rodders, no.
You will be struck down for your lack of humor.
Missed me. So try again, buddy.
And of course, that's how God talks.
Yes.
I will strike you down.
That was not an acceptable piece of humor.
And then he'd be like, nah, that's just me doing Gandalf. I love Lord of the Rings. I've just got an Australian accent and I sound exactly like Harv.
Never seen it.
No.
Lord
of the Rings?
No, never seen it.
That's amazing. You're lucky.
Or Harry Potter. Never.
Yeah. Not into fantasy except when it's sexual.
See what you did there. We were talking about termites.
Thermites, yes. So
thermite.
If it was thermite,
it's a substance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gets very hot.
Apparently. Thermite, it's basically a powder that you can ignite, kind of like when you're in school and they light up the magnesium and it goes really bright. Thermite's like that, but it gets hot, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a mixture of like iron pellets and shit. It's like it's a man-made thing.
It was sort of theorized that that's what caused the building to sort of melt.
Yeah, right? That's why it was sitting there smoking for so long.
Yeah.
Because it was actually dissolving to the point where a few small explosives would be able to set off the make the whole thing come down.
Right.
Rather than setting off big explosives at the start, which would have been too obvious. So. I mean, God, we might as well be engineers. We know so much about this stuff.
Yeah,
It's amazing, really.
It's amazing we're not
Very impressive.
Successful,
Yeah,
entrepreneurial,
at least architects.
influential, elites.
Yeah. It is.
It's amazing we're not.
I can't believe we haven't been invited to join the Illuminati yet with the amount of knowledge that we have. Anyway, yeah, that one came up again in the comments, and he found it very interesting. So I sent him the link to the podcast, and the guy was a little bit, I think, unstable, possibly. Not sure if he could understand.
A YouTube commentator on unstable?
This wasn't YouTube. This was Minds.com, mate. This is the
Wild
okay.
West. Right.
This we've talked about Minds before. Remember I said I subscribed to 2 porn things, and then suddenly my feed was just all porn. It was just vagina, 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 vagina.
No, I don't know Minds.
No, it's supposed to replace Facebook when Facebook starts taking away all that free speech and stuff. Oh, I don't mean when. They've done that already.
Well, I think that's already kind of happening, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's happened already.
Same with YouTube.
Yeah, they've done it.
Pulling down channels that aren't advertiser friendly.
Yeah. Did I tell you Popcorn Lobotomy is completely advertisement free now? Yeah. Well, it was demonetized. Like it was forced. Yeah. Some videos were demonetized, and I just thought, well, I've always wanted to turn it off.
Just
the only thing that stopped me from turning off monetization was the risk that I might not be found in search. So when YouTube forced it, I just said, oh, well, I don't really care now. Like it's going to be the same result either way.
Yeah.
So I just turned off all the videos that even our slash up that's got like, what is it, 20,000 views or something now?
Oh, is it one with 20,000?
I get a comment at least once a week on that Craig Ferguson and Alice Eve one where his head explodes at the end.
Still very popular, that one, isn't it?
Yeah. I got a positive comment this week.
Still, well, that's good.
Yeah, he liked it.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I also got a positive comment on my A Perfect Murder review, which I didn't know anyone had seen that one. I think it was sitting on like 40 views or something. So, quite weird.
Yeah, we don't know.
YouTube machine just keeps going. Or maybe everyone else is just, because they're getting demonetized, they're all leaving and I'm the only one left. And I'll get all the audiences.
Maybe.
I might be the last man standing. They'll stop calling it YouTube. They'll start calling it the Popcorn Lobotomy channel because that's the only channel that'll be left.
Lobototube.
Yeah, like people will go, what are you doing tonight? I'm just going to spend some time on Popcorn Lobotomy, because they're not going to be saying YouTube because it's redundant if that's the only channel left.
I think there's still a billion odd on YouTube.
It's a utopic future, I tell you. Utopic.
Good one.
Yeah,
Good
thanks. One. Oh, I don't know, Rodders. I mean, look, we've killed
YouTube.
We've killed almost 40 minutes with this fucking shit. I don't know what we're doing.
Well, we're reviewing 2017. That's what we're doing. We've gone back a little bit.
For me, that was my favorite thing. I feel like we broke like a news story, and it's something I've been thinking about for like 5 years and never said it to anyone. I don't think I even said it to you, right? Like you didn't even know it until that episode. So, for me, that was my favorite. That was a highlight.
It was a highlight, yeah.
And I think that's the only time we'll ever be able to do that, because I haven't got any other ideas, and I assume you don't.
Maybe not.
Yeah, well, we'll see what 2018 brings.
Maybe not, but yeah, who knows? New year, new fucking attitude.
You know that Vegas shooting? Multiple gunmen?
Yeah, I believe I did hear something about that.
Yeah, that's my idea.
Yeah.
Coming in 2018, just a hint. It's a teaser.
You came up with that, didn't you?
Yeah.
First to...
I came out with it. Thought of it even before the shooting happened.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the people that were interviewed and then subsequently silenced after saying that they heard multiple gunshots?
No, what happened was I hired a guy to silence anyone who said there weren't multiple gunmen, and he didn't hear the nt.
So he just went about silencing all the people.
Went around just killing everybody who said what I wanted them to say.
Oh,
it's regrettable.
That's funds well spent, then, isn't it?
It's expensive, man. He was charging me per corpse.
Those black market guys. I tell you what,
they kill faster than you think too. You think,
cheap.
He'll probably pick one off.
Yeah, you got no time.
Couple off a week.
You got no time to renege.
No.
You better be sure if you're going to have one of these.
It was like that scene in The Bodyguard, where the sister comes clean and says, I hired someone to kill Whitney Houston. My God, I shouldn't say that. Like that's now the NSA is going to be on my ass. That was
Flagged.
in context, people. Come on,
Flagged.
keep up, please. You know,
Totally flagged.
context is important.
Because of that.
I didn't hire anybody to murder Whitney Houston. Just want to make sure we balance that out.
Categorically stated.
It wasn't just anybody. He was a real somebody. The guy I hired to murder Whitney Houston.
Is that the person she was singing about when she wanted to dance with somebody?
That was the exact guy. That's why I hired him, because he's already close to her. I want to dance with somebody.
Well, here he is.
Hey,
problem
somebody.
solved.
Who would have thought there'd be a guy called Somebody?
There you go.
I want to have a look at what we had. We had so much stuff. We haven't talked about any of it, but...
Well, we had the... we talked a little bit about... I remember talking about Mandela and...
if we're going to recap, let's
do you know
let's
what? Do you
do
know
a bit
what?
of Relax stuff. We can do some Relax
Relax,
stuff.
yeah, of course. He's one of our favourites.
You know, we can even just play this video. I have no idea what it is, but, you know, it's queued up. Let's just see what he says. I'm going to just skip ahead.
Yeah, just skip ahead. We all know the interview.
Just punch up.
This bit was funny.
When somebody interviewed him, he said, "There's 2 Donald Trumps." That's easy to pull up. So he called him that the day before. So you know he got something on him if he's gonna make him the next day say, "I join you."
It's just nonsensical
That
crap,
dude,
isn't
that
it?
dude
But
just sounds like he's sitting on the front porch of a house drinking moonshine.
moonshine, absolutely.
A bottle with 3 X's on it.
But that's Dick Gregory, right? Like, Dick Gregory is kind of like, I don't really understand.
Who is he, actually? Who is...
But I've seen him before, and he used to be younger and a bit more...
That surprises me.
A bit more coherent. Like, he's quite rambly now and very hard to listen to in a lot of ways. You know, like, he doesn't kind of get to the point. And I don't know anything about that, neither do you. We always get straight to the point. But this guy, he's rambling on a lot about there's 2 Trumps and whatever. But he does
Who's the guy he's talking about? The guy who got on The View and everything and said, there's definitely 2 Donald Trumps. There's
the one you see on the stage, and there's the one who's very cerebral. And that's the Donald Trump that you're going to start seeing more and more of right now.
Yeah, that led perfectly into what...
I finished your sentence with a video. That's amazing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty
it's almost
good.
like we planned it. So...
But who is that guy? Who's that guy that was talking then? He's, I don't know who he is, but he just sounds like he's just an unabashed Trump supporter. Is he on the payroll? Is he on Trump's payroll? Does he do anything? He must do something, right?
Ben Carson, that is,
Ben
isn't it?
Carson.
Right,
Ben
so-
Carson. I'm sure he's in the administration somehow.
But isn't it completely obvious? And I don't mean to disrespect Villex here, because Villex is great.
Yeah,
But isn't it completely obvious that he's talking about the 2 sides to Donald Trump's
that's
personality?
what it seemed like to me.
And don't people talk in these terms very frequently, like all
they
the
do.
time? You know, like
They do.
you know, there's the me when I'm drunk, and there's the me when I'm sober, and you know,
There's
you just
the me
talk
at
about
work,
as if
and
it's
then
two
there's the me on Sundays. Yeah. Yeah. That seemed to me that's more what this Ben Carson guy was getting at, not the fact that there's a clone of Donald Trump, and the clone wears a blue tie.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting because he was talking about a different outfit, and that suggests some physical sort of difference, right? Like, he's not saying it. He's not coming out and saying
It's
it's
not
a clone.
proof of a clone, though, is it?
No, but let's say there was, and you knew, right? So there is a clone of Donald Trump, and you know about it, and you can't say it out loud because you'll sound crazy. Maybe you would say something about, well, have you noticed he's got 2 different ties, and he's got a different personality when he wears different ties?
There's one guy who's very cerebral, apparently.
Cerebral.
Yeah. Which I'm not even sure.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I'm not sure I've ever heard the cerebral Donald Trump talk.
I'm pretty sure I
I've
haven't.
only seen the the politician guy and the TV guy.
Yeah, the fuckwit.
Isn't that the clone?
The
smart one's supposed to be the
court
real
jester
one,
Trump
right?
is the one I think I keep seeing.
Yeah, the scallywag.
The scallywag. the one who grabs pussies, and you know, that's the one I keep seeing, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that Trump. I think, you know, like, We had Obama, who was an extremely good speaker, very charismatic, fun to watch, quite funny, all of that stuff. He would have made a good stand-up comedian as well, probably. And then we've switched to Trump, and people are like, oh, he's just so embarrassing and whatever. And I'm thinking, no, he's just as entertaining, just for different reasons.
Have you heard of the theory about Aleister Crowley or whatever conducting like a sex magic ritual
For what?
to give rise to the Whore of Babylon or whatever?
Yeah.
You heard of that?
You remember Sky Matra?
Yeah, did she talk about that?
She said she is the Whore of Babylon. They're trying to make her into it. That's her whole thing, and that's one of the only consistent things that she said in many videos.
I heard
concept.
I heard someone talking about that on a different podcast I was listening to, and apparently the link between Aleister Crowley and Hillary Clinton is. Aleister Crowley wrote a book about a year after he did. He said this was successful. This ritual was successful too, and there was an incarnate female child born in 1947 that's supposed to grow up to be the Whore of Babylon, who they want to, initiate into government to change religion and everything to get everyone away from Christianity.
Right. Yeah.
And the direct link between Aleister Crowley and Hillary Clinton is because he wrote another book called The Antichrist the following year. And in that book, he says that that the I don't know whether this is explaining right, but the spirit of this Whore of Babylon or whatever came to him in a vision and told him her name.
What's her name?
And the name that was given, not Rosie O'Donnell. Surprisingly, it was
Hillary Clinton.
Hilarion.
Oh, okay, pretty close.
Hilarion, and this is a book written in 1947, and apparently Hilarion is like the Latin. That's the name that Hillary is derived from in Latin or something.
Okay.
So there's a little bit I didn't know about that. Aleister Crowley had actually written about the name.
The Whore of Babylon being like brought back.
Yeah, like explaining exactly how she became incarnate.
Okay, well,
on planet Earth.
That is pretty interesting. I
mean,
mean,
apparently in 2020, Hillary Clinton turned 72.
Right.
And 72 in that type of religion, whatever they practice, that Luciferianism type religion, 72 is like the highest number. And that's supposed to be... That's the same age that when Aleister Crowley died, I think, as well. He was 72.
There's also the 27 Club, which is all those celebrities that die at the age of 27. That's
that's 72 backwards, isn't it?
So, just making connections here.
So, yeah, maybe the whole...
I feel like this is our 9/11 a moment over again. It happened immediately after I said we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
We've just made a new connection.
Yeah.
It's never been made before. We're inventing new numerology. We can't say it, but we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, so that's the direction. So, if she's still around in 2020, which I dare say that she will be.
Well, she's been in poor health, but yeah, maybe.
Well, if they find a way to prop her corpse up for a bit longer,
long enough, yeah.
It could be. There could be a massive thing coming.
Hillary's dead again. Can you pump her with some adrenaline and get a pulse going?
Get some of that
we need her around
virgin's blood into her, would you? Yeah. So that was an interesting bit of sort of information that I.
It's interesting because there's all these weird sort of end times conspiracies. They just keep coming up. I was watching All Time Conspiracies the other day. I was just trying to queue up the video as you were talking, where they're talking about how the what do you call it? CERN, the Large Hadron Collider machine.
Collider, yeah.
How it's gonna, like, the purpose of it is to open up some kind of portal and summon God or the devil or something like that.
Well, Aleister Crowley used to do rituals that would summon entities,
right?
From the spirit world. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like thousands of people working in concert, like scientists putting together this massive machine. It took 10 years to build or something. This thing, I think.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty huge...
So it's obviously like someone thought it was important enough to fund it. It's not something, I don't know if it's
Isn't
like
it
government
NASA funded?
I don't know, but
Did NASA pour money into that? I think they do.
they probably did. But whatever,
I think they still do.
It might even be some kind of a black budget, or it might be just the Rothschilds dropping cash out of a fucking helicopter. I don't know how it was funded.
I think it's still
It's
paid
still
for.
a massive undertaking.
I think it's still funded with those money bags with the dollar signs written on them. They're just sacks of money.
Yeah, and they're hemp sacks as well. 'Cause
It's just
it's
gold.
stronger.
It's just gold bullion.
Yeah, they threw coins out of a helicopter.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it was obviously important enough to
Untraceable.
someone to put together all of that stuff. And this idea that it's let's discover the God particle or whatever, it's fine, okay. So we just we proved that, did we somehow?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm no scientist, and so we did that, but they're still going. So
Still banging things
still
together.
banging,
still banging
particles
atoms
together. So what are they trying to prove now? The Jesus particle? I mean, is there another one? Is there a Zeus particle? Like, what kind of particle are we looking for now?
Yeah, what sort of particles next? I mean, it's probably it's probably endless that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, you think in terms of like the universe being infinite,
Yeah.
and we're just limited by our stupid five senses.
Well,
We
all
can only-
evidence to me points to everything being infinite.
Yeah.
All evidence points to it. And it's there's a short circuit in our brain that doesn't let us understand that as a concept. But
Yeah, we got limited circuitry or
just
whatever.
because we don't understand it doesn't mean we can't just state it as truth and go on faith that all evidence just points to it. You look, into space and they go, oh, the universe is expanding. And you go, well, is it though? Or is it that we keep being able to see the furthest edge of it and we just see
can't-
further?
Yeah, we just can't we just keep finding a new end.
And isn't it just as hard to understand nothingness as it is to understand infinity? Because if you say the universe is expanding, then whatever's outside the universe is something that doesn't exist at all. It's just nothingness,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if the universe includes space, then nothingness must be less than what is space. What is that? I can't wrap my head around it. I'd rather just say it's all infinite. The universe is infinite.
Yeah, and I'm talking about
fucking
like
stars everywhere, and
as
don't
far
worry
as
about it.
as far as things expanding into the universe, it goes the other way too, where it's like there's atoms and nuclei and whatever the other one is.
Yeah,
Metronome.
yeah, metronome. That's
what
it.
it is.
Yeah, that's the thing pianists use to keep time.
That's what popped into my head. And then and then there's quantum mechanics driving that, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be something. I mean, yeah, you would assume there's probably something driving quantum mechanics. We just don't have the instruments to be able to detect it, or maybe we do, and it's just something that's kept hidden.
Who knows?
But yeah, I don't like to see a limit to it. I mean,
Isn't that what we do? We just place limitations on things. We go, hey, look, an atom.
it is what we do.
That's the smallest particle.
Yeah.
And then they go,
'Cause
it's
people wanna
got
be
a
able to-
nucleus and empty space. And you go, well, then the nucleus of the atom is the smallest particle. And what's that made up of? Oh, well, we can't see that small, so we just assume the atom's the smallest
It's
thing.
just people big noting themselves. They just want to be able to say, look, I found the smallest thing. I found the
Yeah.
biggest thing. It's like,
Well, it goes back right to the start of this thing. Two people talking in a tram, but they just happen to be intellectual types and sciencey guys. Bill Nye talking to fucking, what's the other famous science guy?
fuck. I've got
Whatever.
Neil Patrick
Yeah,
Harris.
Yeah, no, that's Doogie Howser, but you're pretty close. Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was a
Neil
three-part
deGrasse
name.
Tyson
Yeah.
is the name. Neil Patrick Harris.
So you've got you're Bill Nye talking to Neil Patrick Harris or Neil
Patrick
deGrasse
Harris.
Tyson.
If
whichever
I
one.
see him, man, I'd lose my shit.
I'd actually, out of the three of those guys,
More than Neil deGrasse
I would
Tyson.
listen to a theory from Neil Patrick Harris. I'd give it more credibility than the other two guys, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, those two talking in a tram, trying to big note each other or themselves or whatever, and trying to outdo each other.
Yeah. Just
That's
having
pretty much how science seems to be to me.
Yeah, it's just an elaborate pissing contest.
Well, I hate to tell you, Rodders, but we're nearly at an hour.
All right. Well,
need to wind this up.
that probably does it for this episode.
I think it's good enough. We've talked about the entire universe.
Yeah.
So did we cover everything? I think we got everything covered.
Pretty sure we covered absolutely everything there is to cover.
Yeah,
Because that's how fucking brilliant we are.
The theory of everything.
Yeah.
We've covered that.
Yeah.
We just tick that off like just any other checkbox.
You want to know what everything means? Just listen to this podcast.
That's the only way you'll find out.
Just listen to this podcast and we just worded you up
We
on
have
what
the
everything
courage
means.
to tackle topics that we have no business or expertise in.
No topic too big.
No.
No topic too small.
No. We went from wanking to the theory of the universe in less than an hour.
That's right.
There you go. If you haven't got your money's worth, then you can just fuck off and listen to another podcast because this is the best we could do.
That's right.
And I think it's pretty damn good.
I think it's
all right.
Fucking interesting.
Yeah, I don't usually say that, but I think this was pretty damn good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we'll leave it at that for 2017. Thanks
Yep.
for our devout 3 followers.
Yep, we
give us
love you
feedback.
guys. We don't know who you all are, but I assume I love you.
Yeah, I assume all the people that have listened to this that I don't know, that I love them. I just assume that unless
I know
there's some reason to think.
Except for we have one that got about 300 listens, and I'm pretty sure there's at least one cunt in there.
Yeah, well, the odds would
Don't
suggest
love that guy.
Would suggest that there's at least one.
On the odds. That's right. I don't know. I'm not going to name him.
Speaking statistically,
His surname isn't Harris. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to name him, but there's probably, statistically speaking, at least one cunt in that group.
Probably, yeah.
Who, we wish they hadn't listened.
Yeah. So 2017. It's 2017 done and dusted.
Yeah, pretty
Right?
much.
That's it.
over.
That's if
just like this podcast is over.
Yeah. Year's ending. This podcast is ending.
Yeah.
And if you want to support it, which I suggest that you do.
Yeah, please do. Monetarily, if possible. Even though we have no avenues to pay
There's
us.
no avenue to pay us. But
I'll give you my bank account. Just PM me. I'll give you a bank account to put some money in.
You can get at us on Twitter at 1240 Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook.
Still there. We won't respond, but you could get us there.
Facebook page.
Yeah, we're there sometimes.
1240podcast.com.
And please leave us a message on the speak
The
pipe.
speak pipe. Yeah, that's
Please
what
do that.
We want to hear. Just fart into the phone.
Yeah.
Or microphone or whatever the hell you're using.
Think about it. If you're sick of hearing our voice on the podcast, imagine how we feel. We want to hear your voice for a change.
You're pretty much guaranteed. The first person to leave a message on that thing, no matter what it is, we're playing it.
Absolutely.
We're playing it.
Oh, every message that we get, until there's a volume of messages that is longer than the length of the podcast, we guarantee we'll play every single
That's right.
thing.
You're guaranteed to get on.
You can play a 15-minute fucking song or something.
We won't play
and
all
we'll
of that.
play a portion of it.
We'll play a few
portion of it.
seconds of it. But, yeah.
We'll explain what you did.
Guaranteed
At
on.
least.
Guaranteed on. Guaranteed airtime.
Absolutely.
So
it's worth mentioning, I think the app only supports a 30-second message, so we're pretty safe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can leave,
you could leave 100 of them.
Multiple
though.
messages.
Yeah, like you could play a part of the song and then play the next part in the next message. I guess.
You could do that.
Don't do that. That's stupid.
Don't fill it up with all that.
Try to keep it to the 30 seconds.
I'm sure you'll get bored of it within 30 seconds.
Anyway, just leave a message. I don't want to make it more complicated than it needs to be. Just do it. Just press record and say whatever comes into your head.
Just speak through the speak pipe and we will play it.
Tell us what you think about the Large Hadron Collider. Tell us what you think about the horror of Babylon.
Trillions of dollars be poured into that fucking
on
thing?
something as dumb as summoning God?
It's dumb.
Jesus.
Maybe it might have thrust us into a
We've gotten
alternate
this far
reality
without
that's,
him.
that's pretty
why
much
do we all of a sudden need him again? Jesus. You know.
Who needs him? I don't.
Who needs him? God.
I don't. Definitely don't need God.
God. Fucking he just fuck off.
Fuck him. Anyway, that's it. I'm done.
All right, I'm going to stop recording then.
Dropping the mic.
Oh, should I play the music again?
Nah.
Yeah. Let's play it out. Let's play it out. I can just do it. You ready?
All right. Play it out.
It's just loading. It's loading. That
was me dropping the mic.
Oh no, wait, the volume's at 0.
Thanks to everyone for listening. 2017.
Tell your friends.
We'll see you in 2018.
Tell your friends in a way that you don't have to admit that you listen to it too.
I'm out.
All right, I'll stop recording now. Oh shit, wait, it's not in the foreground. I'll stop that one. I'll stop the video.